Adam Driver, Marine Lance Corporal, 1st Battalion, 1st Marine Regiment, Weapons Company, 81st Platoon, heard a boom overhead. He watched a white cloud of phosphorus descend towards the ground. And if white phosphorus comes in contact with skin, the consequences can be extremely dire. Driver and his squad conducted field exercises and were supposed to fire mortars at a distant target. Instead, due to a screw-up, one of the white phosphorus shells burst almost directly over the men in the valley. Luckily, thanks to it being a windy day, the Marines were able to run to safety. It was this brush with death that made Adam Driver realize which two things he truly craved for in his life. He has since quit smoking, but stayed true to the other 50% of his wish. Can you guess what it was? But before you do, please take a second to subscribe to the Rumour Juice YouTube channel. Always be up to date with what's going on and who's who in showbiz. His military past makes him an interesting exception in modern Hollywood. Driver has been open about what drove him to sign up to serve in the military at the age of 17. He was overwhelmed with a sense of duty and the need to do something and be involved after the 9/11 attacks. September 11th happened and all my friends were like, let's join the military, and I was the only one who actually did. Driver says the tragedy filled him with a desire for retribution, but it wasn't against followers of any particular faith. I was not thinking of politics at all. That enemy was faceless in my mind. We were attacked. I want to fight for my country against whoever that is, he explained later. The actor told The New Yorker his military recruiter had to ask him if he was running from the law. That's how abrupt Driver's decision to join the Marines was. But the young man was ready for a challenge. Because, apart from patriotism, Driver desperately needed a purpose in his life. Growing up, Driver was, as he called himself, a misfit, and definitely not a macho type. He preferred to hang out with the high school drama kids. This and his grandfather's collection of 500 videotapes made him interested in acting. He even applied to Juilliard. That was the only place he applied to, in fact, but was rejected. Post-high school, Driver was working odd jobs, like selling Kirby vacuum cleaners, and still wasn't your typical manly man. I would never have talked to those people before the military. Now you're stuck in the epitome of alpha male territory, he said about enlisting. Basic training was grueling, as was Driver's separation from his parents. I was allowed one call, and my parents weren't home, Driver said, so I didn't talk to anybody for a long time. He did love his time with the Marines, though. He loved the bonds he formed. He loved that everyone was equal, regardless of their backgrounds. Your identity and possessions are stripped away, and only a clear purpose remains. You get to see your comrades at their most vulnerable, and also trust them to back you up no matter what. Driver had been training for 2 years and 8 months when he dislocated his sternum in a mountain biking accident. He stubbornly tried to prove it wasn't that serious by loading up on painkillers and training harder than usual. He only made things worse and was honorably discharged on medical grounds. The experience devastated Driver, as he had been preparing to ship out to Iraq with his platoon. Again, the actor stresses he wasn't thinking about the politics of the Iraq War, just about being a loyal comrade to his guys. He was also confident that, compared to his military lifestyle, his life as a civilian would be a piece of cake. You know, compared with the military, it can't be that difficult. I'll dumpster dive, I'll survive, Driver recalled thinking at the time. He has since realized that he was wrong. Driver returned to his hometown in Indiana and enrolled at the University of Indianapolis. At the same time, he was looking for a job. He applied to be a policeman, but was turned down for being underage. He was still under 21. He thought of becoming a firefighter. Eventually, he got a stint as a security guard. But the military taught one more valuable lesson: that time is precious. Staying true to his resolution to become an actor, Driver reapplied to Juilliard, succeeded, and moved to New York. He was still bitter about having to lead a civilian life in his Juilliard years and used to sneer at his classmates. He recalls reducing a fellow student to tears for using his yoga mat and says this was the moment he realized he had to get better at communicating. The rest is history, as we know oh so well. He got his big break in HBO's show Girls, started getting small parts in movies, and getting noticed. In 2019 alone, he started off with an Oscar nomination for BlacKkKlansman and dominated the rest of the year with much talked about movies like The Report, Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker, and Marriage Story. This same year, he was nominated for a Tony for his Broadway performance. He clings to his Marine past by sticking to a hardcore physical training regime. And together with his wife Joanne Tucker, he set up a charity that performs theater for military audiences to broaden the range of entertainment put on for the troops. Thank you for your service, Adam Driver.